So this company here is a number one air. They are probably the most aggressive advertiser for HVAC services in North Texas. They advertise a lot on radio. I hear them all the time. I've talked to my local HVAC contractor who works on my place. The owner of that company, he told me that they're paying like over $100 a click right now on Google on paid search. So they have a ton of money behind them. I haven't really looked too much into them, but like there's a large uptick of private equity acquiring these like trades businesses just because they're like very profitable. People kind of pay whatever because they don't know how to fix their AC, they don't know how to fix their plumbing or whatnot, and so these companies they basically install these like sales folks as technicians, where the technician isn't just a guy coming out to fix something. They like the tech has like an iPad. I have a saying as a homeowner in the U.S. If your tech comes with an iPad, you're being screwed. They come in with like a better or good, better, best, something like that. Plan. I can't remember. They break it down into different tiers basically, and so they turn like a $300 job into like, well, you can get it done for 450, 700, or 1200, and they're like upselling you some. I mean, often it can be more than that. Like sometimes I'll have like a $500 job. Someone like this will come in, before I found my current contractor, and they'll try to upsell aggressively. Anyways, that's a side story on that type of business. I want to talk about these guys because and some of these businesses get caught and outed. Like there's been some really interesting stuff. I might throw some things in the comments about that. I have a ton to talk about with these types of businesses. But we're going to talk about making money off this and how someone's doing it. So a number one air is like I said, they advertise on radio, and radio is with the exception of like radio is not podcast. Right, the podcast. When you advertise with podcasts, you can still track things through UTM parameters with a button click. With radio, it's like billboards, except for it's only through your ears. Billboards are only through your eyes. There's no clicking. Billboards, I've ran out of home advertising campaigns, tens of thousands of dollars per week, on subways and things like that. Nice thing about that is many times they can scan a QR, and so you can run the parameters through that and track your ad campaign. On radio, you can't. It's just a number one air. So what do people do? They go to Google and they type in a number one air. Okay, I haven't hit click search yet, but just take a look at this. They got 7,000 reviews, 4.6. Obviously, if someone has that many reviews, they are. I don't know what I wanted. You know what I mean? They're. I don't want to say too much, but they care about it and they're working on it. Marketers, you know what I'm talking about. So, a number one air. I searched it. I hit search, and now this one comes up. Boom, AI photo. First thing I notice, right? I'm like, okay, interesting. And then they're starting to get some bad reviews, and it's like, well, if you don't monitor your reviews, I know these guys have a really bad reputation. Like 4.6 is not indicative of the service you get from these guys. They are, like I said, they come with an iPad and they are sales folks. They're not really there to fix your home. They're there to sell you on something that you don't need in addition to fix your home. They're really, because private equity is crushing them, like squeezing their heads, saying we need this percentage growth year over year and whatnot. And the sales guys are highly financially motivated to sell you on tons of stuff. The customer gets kind of pissed off, right? And since these guys don't own this, what's actually going on here is someone else made this. It's a similar name, but it shows up for a number one air. So this phone number here likely goes to if you can always test these. I haven't tested this because it's just, I could do it live right now actually, but I have tested a few others in the area. I can pull them up in a different video if you guys want, but it's pretty common in these large cities to have these phone numbers you call. It asks you to usually enter in like a zip code or something, and then it routes you through. It's like a pay per call network, right? So every time this gets a phone call, it gets $20 or so. This guy maybe abandoned it, or maybe he's not gaming it or whatnot, or maybe he just doesn't care because this brand is so large that people will still call because they hear it on the radio every day. Like particularly boomers who don't know any better. some boomers know enough to check Google reviews, but very few boomers know that any of this can be gamed. This is mainly like marketers and young folks. But some boomers don't even care about their Google stars. They're like, oh, I hear about A1 air on the radio all the time. I don't trust this internet stuff. Search, phone number, call, and then they just start entering their zip code. They have no idea they're in a CPA network or a pay-per-call network. So this is how someone's making decent money off of a business like that. So you can pick any large city in the U.S., look for the largest advertiser. There's a number of ways to do that. Radio would be a good way to just turn on the radio, find the largest radio station, go on their website, play it, listen to it for a couple hours, write down the advertisers, and then hop on Google and start looking for businesses that you can kind of pick up on their misspelling and then jack leads. So I'm not encouraging this. I'm just explaining how it's done, how this guy's doing it for sure. He could be making a lot more money if he started, gaming these reviews and whatnot. But yeah, when you see a business like this, 7,000 reviews, it doesn't matter. Like this is north of Dallas. Dallas is a huge metroplex, but there's no HVAC company that gets 7,000 reviews. Like marketers, you know what I'm talking about. But this is, if you're new to marketing and you're a homeowner and things like this, total side note, and you see a business like this, just run. It's not 4.6.